Well, your questions were great. I mean, so thoughtful, and you've clearly really delved into my work and my ideas. And gosh, I'm so grateful for, the time you've spent and the deep thinking you've done on these matters and the great questions and the great conversation today. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I guess one of the things that the sort of a theory that I play with a little bit in the book, and it comes at the very end, is this idea of shame and why it is that so many of us, like addiction aside, I think that shame is really pervasive. And I've wondered about why that is, why we experience so much shame and self-loathing. And sort of a theory I have about that is that it is related to our narcissistic culture, and that it is that sort of when we recognize people as individuals, we are essentially removing them from the group or the tribe. And shame is this emotion that is, I think, has evolved to get us to rejoin the tribe. It's it's essentially a pro-social emotion, right? When do we experience shame? We experience shame when we have done something that typically in a bad way, goes against the norms of the group, and we are discovered for having done that. And then we are gripped with this incredible fear of abandonment and being shunned or expelled, which really gets to the heart of, what makes us human, which is we're social creatures and we want to belong, and we would do anything, to make sure that we belong. So I kind of speculate on this constant sort of recognition of the individual for their work, which we just think of as just like so basic and normal that we would do that, is actually what is driving this sense of shame that we all feel. And I related a little bit, to some of my own experiences where I've given these big public talks, and even when they've gone well, afterwards, there's this incredible feeling of shame that I have, kind of like, the come down, right? Yeah. It's like the price of self-recognition is this shame. And I was talking to Russell Brand, who you probably know Russell Brand, and I was on his podcast, and he could really relate to that. And he talked about how he would give these performances and it would be like this high for him, but then afterwards, this terrible come down. And I think that's happening all the time to us. We keep striving to be recognized for our work, but then when we are, it's sort of never enough. And then afterwards, there's this shame that follows on the heels of it. So I think that's really interesting to me. And it's informed my own behavior, because I really try hard, to not to see my work or any of my talks, literally not see them, but also just sort of not even recognize them as anything that I have done. I really just see it as these ideas are hopefully helpful, and I'm kind of a vessel, as are others, and that's been helpful for me.